Hello and welcome to DDOcast, episode 281, recorded live on Tuesday, May 7th, 2013 at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. We like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons online around 4 p.m. every Sunday or so, but not today because it's Tuesday. But normally that's when we're here. You can join us on our live chat room through G+ Hangouts or on the website at DDOcast.com. Thanks to my cyber ears for hosting our audio files. I'm the host of the show, Siegfried Trent. With us, we have lovely producer and wife, Anne Trent. Hello, darling.
Hello, everybody. Yay. We just had a slight technical difficulty, but we're now starting to broadcast, so yay.
Anne has slain our technical difficulties, and they lie, prostrate at her feet. From DDOgamer.com, we have the amazing Jeff Hanna. Hello, sir.
Hi, DDO World. Unfortunately, I haven't slain anything interesting yet today, but, you know, it's the night is young.
Not yet. And speaking of leaving them rolling in the aisles, we have Rebus the Rogue, master of the DDO Top 10, also known as David Beatty.
Hello.
And master of the dulcet tones. On the podcast this week, we've got gaming news, we've got enhancement comparisons from DDO Gamer, we've got community news, we've got rating basics, Gen Con event has been finalized, we'll talk about that later, a top 10 list performed live, and other cool stuff. So let us get started, as always, with the game and news for the week. Bring us the dev tracker. That's my first message of the day. I guess it's not news. The current forums, having been redone, do not have a dev tracker currently, and this makes making my show notes more work than normal. So Ann and I are sad, and we would like the dev tracker to come back as soon as possible, please. So that's that. Let's see. Update 18 is now on Lamania. Kind of snuck up on us there. We didn't know this was going to be previewed, but it is now previewed there. There are no official release notes as of yet, but now I'm going to forget his name. The keeper of Lamania has posted some of the stuff that's up there. There are apparently 3 new quests: Disciples of Shar, Escape Plan, and Shadow of Doubt that you can try out on Lamania currently. And you can also apparently create a Blade Forged iconic character. These are the characters that you make that can go directly to Evening Star, and I believe they come in at level 15, something like that. And I think this one is a Warforged Paladin, so you can try out that character and see what you think about that new system that they're putting in place. New enhancements are no longer there on Lamania. They do know that there are possibly some bugs due to that, kind of residuals of having that enhancement system previewed. So if you run into any of that, please let them know. Character copy is currently there, but it is a bit buggy. The URL is now www.ddo.com/character_copy. However, I don't know, it's sometimes working, sometimes not. I was logged in, and I go there, and it's like, hey, Siegfried Trent, you're logged in. Would you please log in before trying to use the character copy tool? And of course, I was logged in, so I couldn't log in again. But some people have gotten it to work for them, some people not so much. However, if you go to the old ddo.com/en/character copy, you're not going to find it at all. So if you got a hot link to the character copy already, you will need to link to the new one instead. Yeah, so that's about it. Like I said, your mileage may vary. Some people are getting it to work, some people not so much.
Well, and there's another weird thing going on with it, too. I mean, even once you get the right link, and it's an HTTPS link, even though Tolero posted just an HTTP link, it also has every version of your alt that you've ever created. So, you know, if you're like me and you deleted things a lot over the years, it takes a while. And there's no way to tell the difference between the real character and the one you deleted 4 years ago. So, you know, good luck. Eventually, through trial and error, you'll get the right one over on Lamania.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I remember my DDO used to do that sometimes, too. So I'm guessing it's sharing that same database.
So does it mean that all that stuff is still live somewhere? Like they're still keeping track of all those deleted characters?
I guess so. They seem to have archives of them somehow, yeah.
One of the developers mentioned that they never delete any characters just for the sake of safety side. So if you delete a character, it's just sitting there in limbo. You just can't see it in the user interface when you log on to DDO. So yeah, that's why they have the service of undelete your character for X amount of dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes some
There
sense.
is kind of a workaround. There is kind of a workaround because the character copy thing is supposed to be limited to 5 characters, but that's a lie. Really, you can do as many as you want. So what you do is you find the highest. Like, for example, I have a character named Oriental Adventures. The first time I tried to copy over, it was like a half-orc version that was a fighter. That must have been a name holder from I don't even know when. So just delete it, go back, find the next one in the list, try it again. You'll eventually get there.
Interesting. I didn't know. Yeah, so you can bring over more than 5 characters, or you just...
I don't know that you can. Well, I've brought over I think I'm up to 11.
Huh. Okay.
So, but it might be because I'm deleting them and redoing them that I'm able to do this. But
okay, so maybe if because I've been getting copy failures. So if I went back on Lamania and deleted my characters and then tried the character copy over again, I should be able to succeed. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's working for me. Now they just wiped all the characters today when they uploaded update 18. So you won't have to delete anything anyway. You have 5 fresh slots.
Hey.
Yeah. Also because they have the dojo
nicely.
on there. Yeah, it's pretty easy to just level up a character if you want to. It's not going to be your character, but it'll be a character. So that's kind of fun to do. Actually, it's a fun way to go test out builds. You can kind of build all kinds of characters and try them out and see if they basically work or don't, or which abilities are going to stack and which ones won't.
Yeah,
so
but that doesn't compensate for your gear, because I know and my gear has pretty much changed, and without that gear, I'm pretty much less powerful.
Right? Yeah.
I'm kind of really
hard to make as good a character real quick. I agree with that. Cool. Okay, well, let's see. The new forums are up, as you may have noticed when you try to log in. To log into them, use your game login. Of course, many people not so happy with that, but your existing forum name should now display be a display name to other users. If you're new to the forums, log into the site with the game login, and you will be prompted to create a forum display name. With this update, it is now possible to manage your account settings or create new forum accounts. I'm not sure what they mean by create new forum. I guess you can make more than one for yourself. I'm not sure. Bug reports can be submitted to the web category of the bug reporting tool. Note that bug reporting tool should not be used for urgent issues that require assistance. For assistance-related issues, please continue to use the support ticketing system at support.turbine.com. The forums will be reflecting post topics from April 19th, and of course, after they took them live, anything that was posted since then. Let's see, known issues. DevTracker is currently not displaying properly. We're working to correct this. Please hurry. The reputation system is temporarily disabled, but the rep button still appears on posts. We are currently investigating issues with periodic authentication timeouts impacting the ability to log into my account, the game, and other old new websites. If you receive an error while attempting to log into the site, please try again. And then they continued more updates on May 3rd. Mitigation, the website timeout issue. The fix is temporary, but should greatly reduce the frequency of drop sessions. More changes to resolve any lingering timeout issues to come soonish. I haven't had any trouble with that, but I know a lot of people were. But I don't think I went to the forums until after May 3rd, so I was having trouble logging into it. Work continues to assist players with forum name issues. They have been identified the following migration issues and workarounds until fixes are deployed. If your country is not selected in your myaccount.turbine.com, specifically the select country field in the drop-down list, this can cause an error message when you attempt to log into the site. You need to select US or Canada as the country in myaccount.turbine.com. Additionally, they are working to add the rest of the country options in the web UI to correspond to the options in my account. So you have to go lie on your account if you would like to log into the forums and you're not in the US or Canada. Kind of silly, but that was what fixed my problems with logging into the forums.
Saying that if you're not an American or a Canadian, you're pretty much screwed.
I guess so. You could pretend, although it might mess up your credit card information. I don't know.
It'll mess up on your credit card information.
Yeah, very well could. So players with extremely long passwords may experience issues when logging into the site, even though the game launcher accepts the password. While they are working to correct this issue, keep the password length to 16 characters can help mitigate the issue until our fix is deployed.
You're telling me I have to change my 20 character password? Yes, I have 20 characters in my password.
I guess, yeah, if you wanted to log in faster. I'm guessing their encryption has some challenges when it gets to a certain length or something. I'm not sure.
That's lame.
Yes, agreed. Let's see, some forum names did not migrate properly, and Turbine is working to repair these accounts with deployment next week. If you are submitting a ticket regarding a lost or incorrect forum name, please include forum name migration error in the subject of the ticket so they can ensure that it is routed to the correct team members who are currently working on the issue. If you already submitted a ticket, you do not need to resubmit. Yellow on white text and alignment issues currently in the process of being repaired. Character copy from Mania beta servers is back at the new URL. Now we talked about that already a bit. If you have not played your character in a very long time and it may appear in the available list, logging the character in can help the character copy tool find your character. It may take up to 24 hours for your character to appear. Characters with very recent renames may experience errors when attempting to copy. Wayfinder characters may experience errors when attempting to copy. Sorry, Wayfinder. You may see previously deleted characters in your character list. Yep. If you are unable to log into the character copy tool, go to www.ddo.com and log in first, then go to the character copy. The redirection should load the page correctly.
Why would a server have a specific problem copying over?
No idea. It's a good question.
I mean, like, is it sort of like some sort of database error on that particular server? That's very interesting.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Wayfinder was a little unusual. That was like the expansion server or something, as I recall.
Oh, I remember. It was supposed to be a language specific, right? German or something like that?
German.
Oh, it's the German server? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it might have some... That'd be funny if it had character issues. Oh, you can't transfer double byte characters over.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible it could have something to do with that. That could be very likely. Yeah, because if they're expecting one kind of characters in the name and they're stored differently on that server, then they try to come over, you get a translation problem and doesn't recognize, you get a mismatch, and so that's a good possibility. I know I was reading on our Yark thread, I don't remember if it was G+ or if it's on Facebook, but somebody made a post recently wanting to get the attention of the devs over at Turbine just to complain a little bit about the Wayfinder server being badly underpopulated these days, making playing there rather difficult, and that they would like the ability to, at a reduced cost or for free, be able to transfer their characters off of that server, since it's become a bit of a wasteland as they, decline to support for foreign languages more and more these days. So,
what would probably boost population on that server? They put a test dojo up so you can get free level ups and free loot.
Oh wow, yeah, probably would.
People would just totally migrate over there just to make characters.
Maybe. I mean, some other people probably complain about it too. I'm not sure. There's that desire for authenticity.
Except the whole thing's going to be in German, so good luck trying to figure out how to do your enhancements.
Der Wunderstreik. I guess with the new one, you've got the icons. That helps a little bit, but it's not there yet, though.
Yeah, but they're reusing all the icons. You think you're getting one thing, you get something else. Who knows?
That's true, yeah. Challenges, definitely. Although I remember back in the anime days when I was kind of an anime fan and it wasn't really popular yet, I used to go to these Japanese video stores and I would rent anime. And a lot of it wasn't subbed or dubbed or anything, but, it was cool because they were cartoons of giant robots and other strange things. And so you would just sort of decide for yourself what the plot of the story was. And years later, upon getting the subtitles for some of the same ones, it was like, wow, yeah, what I imagined made a lot more sense than that.
Say, have you ever seen the Katamari game or whatever it is?
Oh, yeah, Katamari Damacy?
Game is messed up.
Yes, indeed. A lot of fun, though. I did like that one. Although I'm not sure it needed like 12 sequels or whatever they did with it, but... All right, let's see. What else we got? The One Fun Memorial Ribbon. As many of you know, Turbine is located in the Boston area. Our community was deeply impacted by the tragic events of the Boston Marathon on April 15th, 2013. In an effort to help, our team has been supporting the One Fund, a charity set up by Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick and Boston Mayor Tom Menino, to specifically raise money for those affected by the tragedy at the Boston Marathon. To raise awareness for the One Fund, the DDO team has created the One Fund Memorial Ribbon, which is available for a limited time at the DDO store. Players can enter the coupon code BOSTON with a capital B to receive up to 10 free ribbons per account to show their solidarity with the victims of the Boston Marathon. If you don't put in the code, it costs you 100 Turbine points. But
is it still going
they tell you the free code right on there, so shouldn't pay for it. I'm pretty sure I remember them saying that they really can't put things for free on the store. There's some technical limitation where it doesn't work, so they have to give coupon codes to do it. So I guess that's why it's like that. And also there's a memorial set up in the marketplace on one of the bridges. You can see it's got some big ribbons and a little shrine with some flowers there. So I thought that was all really very nice thing to do and pretty cool kind of thing to pop into the game.
Yeah. Apparently, they were going to try to do, every time you bought one of the ribbons, they were going to do a donation of equal amount or more. But they couldn't do that for legal reasons, so they just decided to do a corporate level donation lump sum. And then that's why they have the codes for free for the ribbons themselves.
That's cool.
It just kind of floats over your shoulder. Have you activated one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Ran around with it for a day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. I mean, kind of like the little laser ball thing, if you're a favorite soul, I guess. Kind of similar. Doesn't do anything, though, of course. It just hangs out.
Just sits there.
Solidarity. But yeah, I got one and put it on one of my characters. I thought it was neat. I actually saw some people in the forum complaining about it. They're like, I don't like extra graphics on my game, or what happens if you accidentally buy one? What happens to the turbine points? And,
yeah, or don't bring real life into the game, or how come you're not going to memorialize everything else? And
yeah, it seemed kind of silly to me to complain about stuff like that. I mean, they're in Boston, so it's kind of a personal thing for them.
Well, I mean, like, the fun part is about the internet is if you don't like it, you can ignore it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like, it's pretty easy these days to ignore things. I don't know if the new forums has a mute button on specific forum posts, but you can definitely block specific users so that you don't see their post at all. So
can be handy on occasion if someone's annoying you.
Yeah. So if you disagree with something, there's no reason to poop on other people's goodwill. Just ignore it.
Yeah. I have plenty of other things to complain about these days, instead of them complaining about people memorializing stuff. I think. All right, let's see. DDO Store News. Now through May 13th, Auto's Irresistible Box is back. Now through May 9th, 20% off of Slayer boosts, loot boosts, and storage stuff in the store. And the free item for the week is a medium Slayer count boost potion. Coupon code MSCB01, one per account. So that's that. So we got an email this week, maybe it was early last week, asking for us to cover raiding on the show, which we do in a sense because we have Epic Education on fairly often, and that gives you detailed information about raids. But this person was asking for raiding basics, like how do raids work, what do I do, just kind of cover the basics. And sometimes we forget to do a lot of kind of, beginner basic things on the show here. So I thought, hey, I will do that, and I promised him that we would do that this week. So here it is. There's a fair amount of text, and I'll read some, and then we'll stop, and we can discuss it. So the first thing I've got here is kind of the basics of raiding, how they work. So first of all, a raid is a special quest where you can have a party of up to 12 characters. You can convert your group to a raid by right-clicking on your party list. That's where it shows all the members of your party, and selecting Convert to Raid. And a little right-click menu, and then boom, you're a raid group, and you can invite up to 12 people. But you got to keep in mind that adventurers in public areas most adventurers in public areas prohibit raid groups. So, well, not like public areas like the marketplace, but adventure areas and stuff like that. So you can't go in them if you're in a raid if it's not a raid area or a raid quest. So make sure your group is in a raid. Wait, what was I saying here? Yeah, so only make your group a raid when you're actually going to go do one. And then when you're done with the raid, a lot of times after people leave, you want to switch it back if you're going to do regular quests. Let's see, raids found in adventure areas almost always have adventure areas that can support 12 players. So there's one exception, which is the Restless Isle, which we'll talk about a little bit later, which is annoying because there's a raid in the adventure area, but you can't go into the adventure area as a raid group. So to kind of get there separately and then gather up or use some other tricks. But most of the others, where there's a raid inside of an adventure area, the adventure area also supports up to 12 people in a raid group. Let's see, many raids require you to qualify to run them. That's not true of everything. Those that do each have a different qualifying mechanism of some kind, so they're all relatively unique. Often it involves running some related storyline quests, but sometimes you have to collect certain things or get stuff together. Anyway, doing this is called flagging. That's the way people refer to it. Flagging for a quest is getting the ability to take the raid quest from the quest giver so that you can jump on in there and do the raid. Most raids also reward you with exceptional name items of one kind or another. These are almost always bound to character on acquire, so you have to go into the raid to get the loot. That is not 100% true all the time. There are some exceptions to that, but that's the general rule. Most raids require some level of teamwork, though a fair number of them can be and have been soloed by people. That's not generally the intent of the designers, and some of them specifically have things where you have to split up the party and do things at the same time, so you have to have more than one person. Monsters and raids are generally stronger than those you'll find in the same type of non-raid quest. So if you get a level 12 hobgoblin in a raid, it's probably got a lot more hit points and hits a little bit harder than a level 12 hobgoblin in a regular quest. Raids have a timer, which completing them, you can only complete them once every 3 days. So once you complete the quest, you have to go get your end reward, and once you get your end reward, the timer starts, and then you can't take the quest for another 3 days. However, you can reset the timer with an item from the DDO store. You just buy one of those and double-click on it, and then the next raid that you try to take, it will not enforce the timer. Timer starts, like I said, when you take your end reward. If you forget your end reward, you won't be going on the raid. I'm famous for that in my guild. So they remind me after every raid, Sig, don't forget your end reward. So I do that all too often.
I've done that.
Yeah, I think everybody's done it a few times, but me, a bit of a habit, I'm afraid. Often because I finish the raid and then I have to log off and go do something, but I forget. Let's see, what else? The timer is not set if you fail the raid. So if you go in there and you don't succeed, you can try it again right away. So it's only if you successfully complete it that the timer gets set. Each raid has a raid counter on it, and you can type / I'm going to forget. Everybody remember what the command is?
Quests.
/quests?
Right?
Completions.
Yeah, quest completions, thank you.
Wait, well, it's /quest to get the timers, and /quest completions to get the number of times you've done them.
Oh, okay, very good. So it counts how many times you've completed each raid on a given character. On that character, on your 20th run, you're often offered a better selection of loot as the end reward than you would normally get. Not out of the chest itself, but out of the guy who you finish the quest from. And some raids will have some special items that they give you that you don't normally get or are very rare, that sort of thing. Or sometimes stuff that you can pick up randomly, but you get guaranteed versions of it as the 20th reward. So a lot of hardcore raiders are, fighting to get those 20th so they can get some stuff. Now I think currently there are some raids where it's on the 10th run you get stuff. I forget, but yeah.
I don't think so.
It's well in House C, every 5th time you complete Master Artificer and I believe LOB, you get like a selection of the raid ingredients.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so there are some variations to that too.
And there are some quests now where they're not raids, but they're like the end quest of a chain.
Right.
That every 3 times you get a selection of the loot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is pretty cool. I like those as well. I don't even know what to call those. I guess, chain caps.
Chains.
Or
Quest chains.
Quest chains, yeah. I guess so. And there's a fair number of raids that actually have quest chains that are the prerequisites to doing the raids. So those are pretty much the basic rules of raids that I could remember. Anybody else got anything that's a general principle?
No hirelings.
Ah, very good.
Oh, good.
Call, yeah.
You cannot bring hirelings. Res cakes don't work. Res shrines don't work. Resurrection shrines don't work. Many of the things that are in the store that help you cheat the game don't work.
Wait a minute. Oh, I see. The ones you buy out of the store, yeah. If there's a resurrection shrine in the raid, then those work fine.
Oh, yeah, that'll be right. But if you buy one, no, it's not going to
That's right. Yeah. So basically, you can't use many of the ways that you can kind of gimme through a quest. Although, of course, you can use mana potions and things like that. So there are some ways to pave the way a little.
Let's see, those that you have to flag for, you only have to flag once, which didn't used to be the case. It used to be often you had to flag every time, but that's not true anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There still is the Demon Queen where you got to do the, and the Titan, you got to do the pre-quest every time.
Yeah, some of them have a pre-raid and a raid that you go to. Von 5, Von 6. You can't get to Von 6 without doing Von 5.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and I've got a list of the quests here, and the flagging mechanisms are one we're going to go over, so I'll dive into that. Okay, so let's list out as quickly as we can manage some of the raids that you can run. In fact, all of the raids. So first of all, there's Chronoscope. This is pretty much in the level of the raid, the order that we are reading them. You can rescue a friend and battle the devils invading the marketplace. I forgot exactly what her name is. Anyway, it's the lowest level raid. You can run it at level 6, or that's the level of the raid, or on epic levels. There are no qualifiers, so you can pretty much just grab the quest and go run it. The raid items that you get usually are bound to account, unlike many quests or many raids where they're bound to character. Though the epic versions, that's not true. When you make it an epic, it ends up being bound to character. And this is this one uses the old style epic gear. So a bunch of basically everything except for the most 2 recent raids. When they offer epic gear, it's kind of the old style epics where you have to collect the 3 pieces and the item and combine them together. But the new stuff is a little bit different than that. So that's Chronoscope. It's kind of meant as the newbie raid or learning raid. It's also, let's see, Chronoscope is not free to play, I don't believe. But I think that pack is pretty cheap. It's the marketplace one.
It's Devil Assault pack, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, that's right. Chronoscope's pretty fun. It's actually a pretty good raid. It's mostly fighting, but there's a series of fights that you do, and they can definitely be pretty challenging on epic and challenging for level 6 characters. You see a lot of people run it at slightly higher level for the favor for some of the end rewards. So, but pretty easy to get a pickup group going for Chronoscope most of the time. All right, next up is Tempest Spine. Is the oldest raid in the game, so to speak. It's you climb a mountain filled with drow and giants, and you face a storm giant up at the top. It's the oldest raid. It's a level 10, and that was back when level 10 was the cap. So that was like the big end game action Tempest Spine. Now it's something you do when you're drunk and naked most of the time. There's no qualifiers. You just take the quest and you run it. There's no timer on the quest, so you can pretty much do Tempest Spine whatever you like. And it's also a free to play. So if you're free to play, it's, I think, pretty much the only raid you can do in the game. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think so.
Which also means that it's the raid that's probably most often failed.
That's true, too.
Jump in a pug Tempest Spine and see what happens.
Yeah. Although it can be a lot of fun, yeah. And we often when we do Tempest Spine, we often do it naked. So we bring in characters. You have to strip off all your gear. You're not allowed to use a lot of your powers, depending on what level we're running at. And you can only use equipment that you find in the chests while you're playing. And it's a naked Tempest Spine run.
That's a fun one. We always wanted to play Survivor Tempest Spine, and we figured out all the rules for it and when you would vote people out and stuff. But we never actually did it. But boy, such a good idea.
Yeah,
we could do a DDOcast naked Tempest Spine. We did that a long time ago. But you could all jump on Lamania. You bring a character from whatever server you're on and jump in.
And that could be one of our special episodes. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah,
it is fun to do. It usually goes pretty fast, depending on the level of characters. Although occasionally there are some foes who are like, okay, did anybody pick up an adamantine weapon? Anybody? Is there a barbarian in the group? Maybe. Oh boy.
Who picked up the rune? Who picked up the... Check your inventory. Do you have the rune?
Although when we do it as a pickup group, often people cheat. You get some guy and he's like, I'm tired of this. And he just starts finger deathing everything. You're like, stop that! So, oh well. So it's best done with friends. Let's see. Plane of Night, slay the Red Dragon Vela, and the Demi-Plane high above Stormreach. It's a level 10. This was the second raid they added to the game. It also has an epic version now, or epic versions. You have to complete the 4 related storyline quests at least once each in order to go to Plane of Night. You used to have to do them every time you wanted to do the quest, but now you only have to do them once, and then you're good forever. Before the final fight, you must complete a pre-raid 12-man quest. With about equal parts combat and puzzles. It's pretty puzzle-heavy compared to some of the other ones, but there's a fair amount of combat in there. And then the final raid battle itself is sort of a puzzle. It's a situational combat thing. And then fight against the dragon itself, which is kind of a non-standard fight because the dragon doesn't move around. But there's some good loot in there, and so it still gets run fairly often on Epic. And it's pretty good fun. I generally like Plane of Night. Takes a little learning to do the pre-raid, though.
I like that one, but unfortunately that one's also part of the adventure pack, Vault of Night, and I think it costs like 700-something turbine points.
Yeah, pretty much all the other raids are part of some pack or another. I think if you get the Veil pack, you get like 3 raids out of it, though. That's kind of the mega raid pack, you might say.
I also think we should point out that Vault of Night is the prettiest quest anywhere in the game.
Yeah, when you're up in the actual final zone, which, like I said, is it's hovering above Stormreach. It is really cool. It's
what's not fun about fighting a dragon in space, yo?
Yeah. and falling off
awesome.
the first time you do it. You're like, whoa! So yeah, it's a pretty cool one. One of the oldest and still one of the best.
Yeah, you aren't really a DDO player until you've fallen off the plane at night.
Mm-hmm.
Or jumped.
We had a buddy the first time we completed it, and we were opening the chest, and at the time there was like this sort of safe spot where people would go stand to not get hit by the dragon's breath. It's definitely quite a bit different now. But so we're opening this, he opens it, and someone says, hey, come check out the safe spot. So he runs over there to check it out, and he's like trying to jump up on this narrow band of little hillock things, or rocks or something. And we see in the chest that he got a loot item. He's the only person that got a raid item in the chest. And the next thing we know, he's like, oh, I'm falling. Like, no!
Oh, no.
You missed your loot. You're the only one that got any. So that was our first time doing it. So.
That was that quest. I remember when the old raid loot system was going, where you had like the little 2 stones that would appear in front of the chest, and the raid,
that's right.
Like the leader would like give the stones to people, and then you would get raid loot. And no one else would.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. They've been through some interesting loot systems over the years, until they finally kind of came up with the nobody has to make decisions but the computer, which is kind of good for everybody all around. All right, let's see. Next up, Twilight Forge. Destroy the Warforged Titan deep inside the Twilight Forge. This is level 11. There is no epic version as of yet. To get there, you have to go through the Restless Isles, and to get to the Restless Isles, you have to do Hidden in Plain Sight in the harbor. And then once you're there, you have to do the quests in the Restless Isles, which are Slavers of the Shrieking Mines, and Bring Me the Head of Golithon. And then you have to talk to an NPC and go through a little dialogue where you either cough up some money or make some skill rolls. One of the two, so you can always cough up the money. And then you can go on the quest. The raid, kind of like Volta Knight, is 2 quests. There is first a very long puzzle-filled quest that splits up the party multiple times, so you have to kind of divide and conquer the thing. And then the second part is kind of the raid proper, where you have... I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it's a puzzle fight. Like, you're not really doing a lot of straight-up fighting, but you're being attacked all the time, and you're trying to manipulate a bunch of environmental stuff in order to kill the Warforged Titan. It's considered to be probably the most frustrating final fight in any of the raids, and because there's no epic version, most of the raid loot is kind of no longer much prized, and getting to the raid is kind of tricky because the Restless Isles are not... an adventure area that allows 12-man groups, so you have to like either send 2 parties through as 6-man groups to get to the raid and then break up and rejoin together because there's a little public area over there. Although you can also use Greater Teleport, and now you can use the ship if you have the right level of navigator to pop on out there. So it's easier than it used to be. But still, hardly gets run anymore, especially not with a pug, due to the intense puzzling and the rather difficult and easy to mess up and fight. So.
And horrible drop rate of the raid loot.
Oh yeah.
Horrible drop rate.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's one of those quests where completing the pre-raid quest is sometimes painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one good reason to go out there, which is for a level 11 quest, it has like a 30,000 base XP or something like that. So if you run it on Elite and you have everything maxed out and you got a potion going, it is a metric ton of experience points to do it at that level. So, and it's not necessarily that hard. You just need to have everybody know how to do it or have the guides up, and you can sort your way through.
Yeah, the loot in that is so outdated. It's pointless to run it for loot anymore. I mean, it's like Chattering Ring, which used to be the bee's knees for AC, is like 3. It's like 3 dodge bonus, and now that drops on random loot.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything.
Did you just say bee's knees?
Yes, I did.
I just wanted to confirm that because you started that by complaining about things being outdated, and then you finished it by using the phrase bee's knees.
A little irony.
Just thought I'd point that out. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Next up, Zawabi's Refuge. Destroy.
I would like to point out that's in the Restless Isles pack, so that's not even worth the $350 terabyte
points.
It
is a lot of XP though.
Make that one free.
Now wait, I will say that the 2 quests, the
Golithon and Shrieking Mines.
Golithon, each of them has an item in it that you can farm. It's not, they don't drop a lot, but those are still worth $1 million plat.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Ring of the Ancients and especially the Royal Guard Mask, you could probably get a couple hundred astral shards for that. So I think that depending on what your goals are, that could be a very good expenditure of Turban points.
Yeah, I don't know. I like those 2 quests. They're not bad. They're kind of fun. They have some interesting enemies and neat environments on them. So Let's see, Zwabi Refuge, Destroy Queen Land in the Circle of Eternity. It's a level 12 quest, has epic versions. You must complete the 3 qualifying quests in the desert, once each, Chain of Flames, Offering of Blood, and Chamber of Rayum. And then the weird thing about this one is every time you want to run the raid, you got to go run a 6-man quest first. Now, in these other ones, basically, you get a big raid group, you go into the first quest, you finish the first quest, and then there's a little raid quest kind of inside the other quest at the end. But in this one, you got to go do a 6-man quest. So you got to get 2 teams together, or you just do it sometime ahead of time, go out, run against the Demon Queen out in the desert, then come back, group up, and then go do the raid. So it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. And you got to do that every time. You got to do that 6-man quest every time you want to run the raid. It's very short raid, however. It's basically just a big fight in an arena against the Marilith Laylet and some of her allies. So it doesn't take very long to crank that one out. And most people go run the pre-raid on casual just to cruise through it real fast. Let's see, Reaver's Fate. Stop the Storm Reaver and his Doomsday device, level 14, no epic version. Complete the 3 story quests in Giant Hold, Cabal for 1, Madstone Crater, and Prison of the Plains. Of course, that change used to be slightly different. They also got rid of the need to go kill the giants in Giant Hold Tor, or to turn in a bunch of relics. So you really just need to complete those 3, then complete Giant Hold Tor quest in Giant Hold itself, and then you're flagged for that raid from thereafter. The raid is fairly short. There's a fight against the Storm Reaver and a bunch of air elementals, which are really annoying, and then a timed mastermind puzzle that you have to complete. So it's a pretty quick one. Just kind of knock them out real fast. Then you got the Shroud, Devil Eritrakos, as he seeks to invade Stormreach. It's level 17. There is no epic version of this yet. You have to complete each of the 5 qualifying quests once. Then you do some crafting with the items that you get from those quests, and then you're good to go for the raid. The raid itself is combat. It does have a few puzzles here and there along the way, but it's like a series of different combats, each with a slightly different kind of focus. And then instead of innate items, the raid gives you ingredients for making powerful green steel weapons. You have to make the blanks from the weapons by collecting stuff from the outer quests, and then the raid gives you stuff to enhance your green steel blanks. So one of the most popular raids in the game, even to this day. Green steel weapons still pretty highly prized, although not quite end game anymore. And it's pretty fun. It's still a fun raid to run.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody done any shrouds lately?
We were doing one every week until about 3 weeks ago, and we just said, all right, that's enough. We got one guy who has 200 and some completions on one character, and we said, all right, that's enough. Time to go tackle something else. Lord of the Blade, something. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one point we were doing so many shrouds, and we were just doing them for friends. So there were a couple. If there's like a small pool of people that need ingredients, we'll do what's called sort of a lottery, shroud lottery loot, and whoever wins the lottery gets all the shroud ingredients, so they can complete an item, and then we'll call it. It's like, and then you do that a couple times, and then usually. If it's like 4 or 5 people that need to complete it in 4 or 5 runs, they've all got their green steel items already done that way.
Although now I think the guild leaders mostly just whenever somebody needs something, they just give them a big pile of ingredients because they're not working on their green steels as much anymore.
Right. We did that same. We called it Queen for a Day shroud runs. It was the same basic deal though.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
And you can bolster your guild in a hurry that way though. I mean, everybody got right.
Yeah, I think everybody likes that. It's kind of a good guild team-building exercise in a way. Mm-hmm. All right, next up we've got Ascension Chamber, one of the raids that doesn't get run so often. Stop the Black Abbot from becoming a god. It's level 17. There is no epic version. To flag for this, pretty complicated. Probably the most complicated one we've got in the game right now. You need to complete a sigil frame by collecting 8 frame pieces in the quests in the Orchard of the Macabre. You'll have to run Temple of Vol, Fleshmaker's Laboratory, Inferno of the Damned, and Ghosts of Perdition at least once each because the frame pieces drop at random. And some of them only drop in each of those given quests, while others drop in pretty much any quest. So once you put the sigil together, which can take a little while, I'd say maybe around 8 runs. If you have friends, it can take less time. Then you go complete, once you've got that, then you can go on the pre-raid, which is called Litany of the Dead. It's a regular 6-man quest. You got to run that quest 4 times, each time facing a different end boss that relates to one of the previous quests, and you select which one you fight by doing a little dialogue with a black dragon, which is pretty interesting, but can get you killed if you make the wrong answers. So once you've done all that, you run the 4 pre-quests, you built yourself the seal, then you've run the other quest 4 times, then you can finally go on the raid. The raid itself, also in 4s, consists of 4 very challenging puzzles, varying levels of challenging, from nightmarishly difficult to not so bad once you know how to do it. And you have to have people go off in different separate groups to go complete those, and then when you're done, you fight the Black Abbot. So that one, definitely very challenging due to the difficulty of the puzzles. I have never completed Ascension.
If you're in the case of our guild, it's more like, God, it's too hard. Let's do something easy instead.
Yeah, the guild just doesn't want to run it, is basically what happens. It didn't want to take the time to learn it, so we just don't do that one. Which is kind of sad, because it is sort of cool. I mean, it's really interesting. And definitely whoever designed it was an evil genius. He's one of those game masters you want to reach over and strangle to some extent. But I know some people can do the puzzles really easily. Yeah, they really got them down. But
I think that's one of my favorite quests. That's the first time that I really got into like when I'm like playing and I get really nervous in that quest, because the whole thing can hinge on one person. It's like you get,
palms quest. Your palms like, sweat and your mouth.
Definitely, because you're like, everyone else has died falling off into the pit, and you're the last one to try to get across. Like, can you make it? Everyone else is ready and waiting. Can you get across?
Yeah, you can definitely be a hero.
Yeah, I love that.
It's pretty cool, and I'm happy they have some raids in the game that are really challenging. I don't need to be able to do everything that's out there, but yeah.
I'd like to say that that's a part of the Necropolis Part 4 adventure pack, and it's more than twice or even 10 times worth the 850 turbine points that you have to pay for it.
There's so many experience points out there, so many. Also, there's loot in this raid that is, I believe, still endgame. Still.
Yeah, there's some
I think that quiver is still top shelf, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote recently about the sigil pieces, and somebody reminded me it doesn't quite work the same way it used to. All of the sigil pieces can now drop in any quest. They're just more likely to drop in the they're more likely to drop in the quest where they used to be only exclusively available, but they can drop in any quest. And not only that, they can also drop in just regular chests in the Orchard Adventure area.
Oh, I haven't had that happen yet, but that's cool. Very interesting. I have noticed that the last time I was out there flagging on my TR, just because it was pretty good XP, not because I really wanted to run the raid with him, I got a lot more like shield and tome pieces than I used to get. Those seem to drop more often than they once did.
They also now drop in. Yep, they now also drop in every chest, including the Orchard rare chests.
Yeah, I'd say even if you don't want to run the Ascension Chamber, getting that sigil completed so you can run Litany is so nice when you're TRing, because Litany is such a great experience. Cow.
Yeah, it is. And it's not real hard to complete either.
No, it's so fast and you get tons of XP, and you can run it 15, 20 times.
Grind it out. Although when I did it, I did discover, made me swear that I would never TR again without evasion, because there's that down pit hallway they have to go down, and we got torn to pieces trying to get down that. Is there a trick to that one? Can you get through that without having evasion or disabling your traps?
Oh yeah. You have to go one at a time, take off Featherfall, and then you have to learn the route, which is just basically try as hard as you can not to let your feet touch the ground.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do that'll sometimes save you is have hireling and leave it up at the top.
Yeah.
And then if you die, you can maybe you can get your ghost all the way down to the bottom, summon your hireling, and save yourself.
There you go. That works too. Cool. Yeah, in our case, we both died and the hireling died, so I had to use a cake, but I did manage to get it. All right, let's see.
Well, it's the only quest where you can. It's also the only quest where you can role play with the dragon and the questions.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I actually like that part. Although it may be really confusing to people when they first get in there. Like, why did I just die? I don't understand. But you can always go look up the answers if you find it frustrating. And it is one of the few pieces of pseudo role-playing, or at least sort of testing you on your role-playing alignment knowledge, which is kind of neat. All right, we've got Hound of Zoriat next. This is also part of the Veil / Shroud pack, so you get sort of 3 raids with that one. Destroy the Hound before he attacks Stormreach. It's level 18. There is no epic version. There is no flagging. The raid is found in the subterranean, which is accessible through the marketplace, and the quest givers are right outside there. It's a fairly short raid, but the path to get there in the adventure area does involve a number of fights, which can be challenging if you're at level, depending on the character, because it is a raid area, so the monsters have a bit more hit points and do a bit more damage. It's all one long fight, but it does involve kind of puzzle elements to succeed. Basically, there's monsters that are immune and ones you don't want to die and stuff you have to do. It definitely takes some coordination and teamwork, and I do like doing Hound of Zoriat. It's pretty fun. And I don't know about the treasure's okay. I haven't seen the upgraded versions in a while, but we used to run that one a lot, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, there's still some good stuff in there. There's like that Bracelet of Madness that connects with the loot out of like Fear Factory. There's like that other chain that's in the marketplace, or just connected to the marketplace. That if you get out, you get like the armor of madness that has like the parasitic breastplate. I can't remember all the names of the things, but you like put the symbiotic or the something symbiote. And you put that together with the Bracelet of Madness, and you get like really good caster stats that aren't end game, but they're like through, I'd say, level 20, 23 or so. You can use them.
Yeah, and we used to run this raid under level, doing it on normal sometimes. So it's a raid, and also another one that we used to just sort of tag along, because I think the gear is like level 16 bound or something like that. Yeah. 14 or 16. So we used to, take some more powerful characters and drag some lower level characters through to get some of that stuff.
I think there's a bastard sword or a long sword that's for paladins that comes out of there. Like if you have a certain number of levels of paladin, it gets better and better and better. I think that's the one that comes out of the Hound.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, level 20 paladin gets like a pretty serious sword out of there.
Yeah, definitely interesting. And they upgraded a lot of them recently. Then there's a Vision of Destruction, which is kind of its partner raid. You defeat Sulamades, the Devil General. It's level 18. There's no epic version. No flagging, just like the other one. It's in the subterranean, just like the other one, so there's a bit of fighting you have to do to get there. There's also kind of a puzzle you have to do in the adventure area, which is very unusual in order to get to this particular raid. It's just a straight-up fight. It's really one of the more, hey, you're in a room and there's Solamides there, and he summons other devils, and you fight him, and that's pretty much all there is to it. But it can be kind of fun, especially, maybe the first few times you do it. It is one that my guild used to run a lot, and I eventually got kind of bored of it because, it's basically standing around and fighting. But it also, in a way, is kind of a good trainer for some of the later raid battles and other quests.
Yeah, actually, I was wrong. That longsword comes in this quest, not the Hound.
Oh, okay.
It's called Divine Vengeance.
Cool. I don't think I've ever looted that one.
Yeah. There's like a side chest that comes out on Hard and Elite that there's 3 new pieces of loot. There's the Vengeful Protector, which is a shield, and then there's Omniscience, which I think is a trinket. Anyway.
I'll have to poke my guild to go run that again. I don't think we've done it since the new loot was added. So
Yellow Dopant can also drop in that one.
Oh, well, that's actually really nice.
In case you need more green steel ingredients.
Correct.
Yeah, if you want to crush stuff up.
But the rest of that loot is getting really dated. Like the bracers of the Glacier and the gloves of the Glacier used to be the bee's knees, Jeff, of casters, but no longer.
Yep, still the bee's knees, sort of. Oh, okay. Now
they're walking all stiff like now.
More like the bee's ankles at this point.
The bee's slightly heavy thighs, with a little bit of cottage cheese. Anyway,
the Hound is the only is the only raid boss monster that my Drow tank was able to tank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm proud of that. It's a Drow tank, fighter tank. Yeah.
Oh, they can work. Let's see. Tower of Despair. Defeat the devils to restore the balance to the power of Palar and Shavaroth. Although, that description is kind of like, why would I want to do that? Well, I guess that keeps them from invading more. But anyway, it's level 20. It is not epic, however, but it was, at the time, like the first level 20 raid, so it was considered very challenging. You must complete a new invasion, Bastion of Power, Genesis Point, and Sins of Attrition, which are all in the Shavaroth adventure wilderness area, and all those quests are pretty sizable, lengthy quests. While it is not required to run the raid, you really do need something called Boots of Anchoring. Otherwise, you risk being ejected from the raid during the final fight and denied your loot and possibly denied the completion of the raid, which is not a whole lot of fun. So to make the boots, you need boot ingredients, which are random drops from the quests in the Shavareth adventure area. They are tradable, so you can get them from friends if they have extras or buy them on the auction house and so on. So not too hard to get your boots put together, but it usually takes more than just running each of the quests once in order to get those. And sometimes you can come along, like you stand in the back of the room and there's not much chance you'll get teleported, but then you're not really helping out all that much either. Let's see, finally, while it is not required, it helps if you can teleport to the entrance of the raid, because you don't really want people waiting for you. To do so, you must find your way to the raid in the adventure area. So you wander through the adventure area, you get to where the raid is, and then there's an NPC just inside the little alcove there. You can talk to him, and then on you'll be able to teleport there. So you'll want to do that before you plan to go run there. I like doing the Shavareth adventure area, so I usually do that while I'm out there on a character.
Mm-hmm.
The raid's pretty long. It involves a series of boss battles, kind of a little bit like Shroud or something in that sense. You fight these guys, and you fight these guys, and you fight these other guys. And there are no puzzles in there, however. There are some fights that take unusual tactics, I guess, but no strict puzzles, no tiles, no levers to flip or anything like that. Just kill stuff.
I really like that raid, but I have run it so many times.
Yeah, so, I've done it quite a few now.
It used to be that the rings that are the loot from there were absolutely required for endgame.
Yeah, not so much.
They're not, and you just couldn't get them. You just couldn't get them. I mean, you'd have to get them on a 20th completion because they would almost never drop. And if they didn't come on the 20th completion, well, then you're going to be there for your 40th and maybe your 60th. And oh god, I was in there so many times.
Yeah. Although it also reminds you of failed plans by the developers, because some of the rings were for prestige enhancements that never happened.
Right.
A cult slayer!
Yeah.
Ravager!
What? What's that?
A wild
Never
maid.
heard of that one.
All kinds of cool things. You're like, well, this will be great if it ever happens.
Yeah, the rings in there are still required for monks. If you're going to be a monk,
that's true.
Those are still required gear, but basically everything else, not so much.
Yeah, or at least one of them. I always like to have one with the holy on it, or holy burst. I forget which one you put on. But
yeah, so that's another piece of this one, is that those rings come out and you actually craft them with shroud ingredients with a tier 2 shroud effect. Mm-hmm. That's what makes them so good.
Yeah, and it was a nice crossover between the different raids from the loots and stuff, the loot from the different raids, which I thought was neat. And I still like the rings. I'll run tower, and sometimes I get one of the rings, and I'm like, oh, this will be handy for a few levels. But the only problem is I think they're level 18 to use them. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, very quickly once you start running epic stuff, there's epic loot that's generally a little bit better, except with the exception if you're a monk. So they don't have a long shelf life anymore. I think that's the main problem. They're still good for a little while, but you pretty quickly get something better.
Yeah, I mean, especially now with the slots, with something with a colorless slot, you can put a +6 attribute in that slot, mm-hmm. and then the only additional thing that these rings have is that exceptional whatever bonus. So, any epic loot with a slot, any loot with a slot and an exceptional +1 is just about as good as these rings, which those things are a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm. I think I actually still have a ring and a belt on my Archmage for the Archmage bonus.
Yeah,
or something
I was just sitting here thinking, you get +2 DC from that, and that stacks, and that's hard. That's hard to get. So
there's a couple combos that are still kind of good, but are quickly fading. I think if you really run a lot of raids, they become pretty much pointless. But if you're like me and you just do the occasional raiding, they're okay.
I think the Frenzied Berserker bonus is still pretty good. The encrusted ring, and
it's like flat 2 damage.
Yeah, and it gives once you hit them, then it does, I don't know, a D8 or something every 2 seconds for 8 seconds or something in addition to your swing. So that seems to be pretty good still, but it takes 2 equipment slots to wear it, and those 2 slots can be much better served now.
Yep. Indeed. Although, like I said, I often end up wearing the gear from 18 to 20 or 18 to 21, and then I end up chucking it after that. Let's see. Master Artificer, defeat Tobin Decana. Oh, sorry.
Oh, but on another side, if you just don't want the loot, it's worth getting the favor for the Yugoloth, because you get access to those really cool pots. So, which stack?
Yep. Yeah, those are still very valuable endgame, so well worth doing for that. And there's a lot of XP to be had. Master Artificer, defeat Tovin Decaneth before he can destroy all the Warforged, level 19, with epic versions. You must complete Blown to Bits, Power Play, and Schemes of the Enemy. The raid is located in the Caneth Adventure area. Some fighting is required to get there. Aside from a few initial encounters, the raid is mostly kind of a long, complicated battle with environmental hazards going on. End rewards include a named rune arm and then random alchemical weapons. And I think there's some other stuff you get. I know people tend to run this just like once or twice, and that's about it. But
yeah, you could bound Kyber Dragon Shards, which you need to make alchemical weapons. You get a few of them in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so people kind of run this one first, and then Lord of Blades is the one they run more often to enhance the weapons, as I understand it. Then there's Lord of Blades, which is comes in the same adventure pack. The Lord of Blades is deep in the Caneth Foundry. You must battle him. It's a level 20 quest with epic versions. The level 20 version is not epic, though. You must complete Blown to Bits, Power Play, Schemes of the Enemy. The raid is located in the adventure area. You have to do some fighting to get there. It's pretty much just one long, complicated battle. There's kind of a little prologue fight that you can do, but that's not really the bulk of the raid. So. Instead of named loot, it gives you parts for making and enhancing alchemical weapons.
And those are dated.
Yeah, right. They're all like green steel, but they had a much narrower band of usefulness, like the level at which they are versus, again, it's kind of the same thing that Tower suffers from. They were kind of good when they were the highest part of the end game, but then very quickly as epic items came out and proliferated, that stuff became not so great anymore. So
there's still a couple of interesting. Well, you know what? I think you get those from the challenges. Never mind. I'm not sure that. I guess there's some interesting caster effects that you can get on some alchemical weapons that might still be worth getting, but I'm not even sure of that.
Yeah, laceration comes on those, which I think is nice. Although I think impulse now affects blade bearers, if I'm not mistaken, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and they're, I mean, like anything that's customized, if, let's say, you really want to use throwing hammers, right? There's not a lot of named throwing hammers. Well, you can make whatever kind of throwing hammer you like using the alchemical system. So if you're a really niche player and there's not a lot of gear for whatever weird thing you decided that you really want to use, then they're pretty good for that. But if you're, if you're really min-maxing, then you're just going to find whatever. You're going to customize your character to the available loot more than find the loot that fits your character. All right, so next up is Caught in the Web. Defeat the goddess Lolth and rescue the Thread of the Weave. This is epic only, level 24, so definitely kind of the high-end raid, along with Fall of Truth. You only need to qualify for this once, but it is probably the most work to qualify for any raid. You have to run 3 series of quests. You got to run the 3 quests in Evening Star to get to Evening Star. Then you got to run 4 Evening Star quests, and you got to run 4 Schindlerinn story quests, and you got to run 3 quests in the Demon Reb, and then you're qualified for it. So, but once you're qualified for it, you just go and run it. The raid is rather long. It's mostly just combat encounters, but it's not like one big arena fight. It's a long series of combats that you have to do and some other things. So, most of the named raid loot can be upgraded to more powerful versions. That's something you see pretty often now, it seems, in the new raids that come out. So they have named loot, and then you can make the named loot even better by running the raid a few times to get tokens and tidbits and whatever you need for it. Right, and it's not well loved, I think. People don't really love to run that quest all that much. I don't mind it. It's okay, but I've only done it like 3 or 4 times, I think. And then we have the newest one, finally, Fall of Truth. Do battle with the Truthful One and his allies. To flag, you need to complete the epic versions of the 3 story quests in Giant Hold, Cabal for One, Madstone Crater, and Prison of the Plains. I think they're actually called Return to Cabal for One, Return to Madstone Crater, etc. Then complete the epic level Giant Hold Tour quest and in Giant Hold, and you're good to go. So basically just like qualifying for the Fall of the... now I'm going to forget what the normal raid is called.
The Reaver's Fate.
Reaver's Fate. Yeah, it's in the same place, but it's actually 2 different raids, the epic version and the normal one. So pretty cool. Fall of Truth is just a big fight. It's a pretty complicated fight, and there's lots of stuff to fight in there, but it's basically just one long combat, and then you're done with it. So no puzzle like in the...
More importantly, it's fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's a fun fight. It's just it's a cool combat with interesting enemies that have different powers, and you need to coordinate.
I've still never done that. I want to.
Oh, okay.
I've done every other raid, but I haven't done that one.
If you want, you could come onto Thelanis and we can get you to level 8 and stone you up. And then we can
well,
level
you gotta get to
you
level 20. And then, yeah,
well, then we'll
it's a lot of
level
work.
up to 20. That should be really easy. It's only his
A lot of
first
work to
life.
learn it.
So. And then we can run it, because we run it like every Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, our guild is on the Fall of Truth grindy fest right now, and we just run that one over and over again. Still doing it on normal, though. Or maybe they do it on hard occasionally, I don't know, but usually normal.
I think it's normal hard,
Yeah.
depending on who we get.
We haven't bucked up yet for the real challenge.
Bills down to not difficulty, but laziness.
Yeah, our guild is good, but lazy. Probably could do it on a higher difficulty, but wouldn't have the patience, so we might fail. And we often do pick up a couple pug people, too, so... Anyway, that's about it. If you would like to know all this and more, you can visit the ddowiki.com/page/raids, and you can see every loot item in every raid and details on how to run them all and all kinds of other stuff. I got most of this information from there. There's a couple things that they haven't updated yet, but like qualifying for the latest raids, they don't really have that information yet. But tons of information, especially about the older ones. So well worth taking a look. So we are going to, now that we are done with that, we are going to engage our guests more fully, and we're going to have Rebus the Rogue, also known as David, give us a live top 10. So you ready for that?
Sure.
All right, cool.
It'll be Rebus the jacket, or Rebus the pair of socks.
I'll be
Rebus the bee's knees.
overly tight shorts.
Yeah, Rebus the knee-high socks. All right, so what we're going to do for this week's top 10 is the top 10 reasons to make a DDO video for YouTube. That's what we're going to do today. So, at number 10 reason to make a video for YouTube from DDO is the look at how much damage I can do with this character. You want to make a YouTube video that shows your thousands and thousands and thousands of damage that are popping up as you're hitting mobs in Von 1, epic, probably epic normal Von 1, watching how you can just own that quest. That would be a big reason to make a YouTube video. Have you guys ever made a video like that?
No.
No?
I'm a sorcerer.
I think I did 1,500
I don't share
once.
it.
Yeah, that too, you can throw like this is my polar ray, it did 24. You always hear these people on the forums are like, my polar ray does 35,000 damage. Like, really? How does that happen? Really? Okay. All right, number 9. The number 9 reason is, hey, have you ever seen the veil from up here? How about over here? How about on this ledge? Hey, can you guys jump up on this building in the marketplace? How about this building? How about in the harbor? And like people posting their video, oh, have you ever seen this boat in this little spot? There's a lot of videos like that on YouTube as well. You guys do that kind of stuff where you?
I jump on things when I'm bored. I'll log into DDO and I'll do nothing but run around on rooftops, and I'll be like, "Are you gonna run a quest?" I'm like, "I don't know."
I'm jumping.
Jumpy jump jump.
I'm on the lighthouse. I'll run a quest later.
There you go. This is the Mario Brothers time from this show. Well, there's that the 3-Barrel Cove. There's that place you can get out to on that island. I don't know if it's a lighthouse or what, but it's across like a broken bridge, so people like jump over there with their favorite souls or whatever. And look at me.
there's like a slash location or something, and you can see what your elevation is. And I believe the highest recorded point in the game is inside of Vaughn 3. You jump up on top of some stuff in there, and that is the highest technical location in the game.
Oh,
in
wow.
Vaughn 3.
Yeah.
What's the lore for Vaughn 3?
Well, it's inside of somebody's dream.
Oh,
right?
the dream one.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Vaughn 2.
Oh, is that Vaughn 2?
Yeah,
Oh,
Vaughn
yeah,
3
you're
is
right.
Jungle of
That's Vaughn
Kyber.
2.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore,
Yeah.
right? So it's inside the
I
poison.
forget these things. Yeah, Vaughn 2. That's apparently the highest recorded point in the game.
Oh, yes. All right, so then number 8 is I'm going to record my entire DDO experience, and I'm going to put it on YouTube for you to watch. So we're going to start with my character generation, and then we're going to go through level by level, and you're going to watch my whole character unfold. And that's definitely also interesting. That's a lot of time, although no editing work. So, you don't have to do any editing. You just record and then post. It's long hours. I don't know how many people are watching those, but, something to do. Okay, number 7 is I'm going to teach you how to play DDO post. So then we're going to have, how to make a character. We're going to look at our Korthos tutorial. This is how you beat the Korthos Island quests. This is how you go into STK, and this is how you beat this, and this is how you beat that. So that would be the number 7. You guys post those kind of videos, those tutorials, or?
Not so much, but whenever I'm on YouTube looking for DDO videos, there's this one, Let's Play DDO, and it's a cute girl with big boobs doing that, and that has a lot of views.
Yes, probably not because of the DDO in the title.
Maybe not.
All right, so then there's the number 6 reason, which is look how fast I can do this quest. See how fast? Look at the time at the end. See my time? It was only 3 minutes. I am very fast at doing this quest. Lots of those.
I like those better than here's everything I've ever done in DDO.
Much quicker.
Yes.
Easier to watch. Okay.
I did do a Korthos done quick tutorial, like explorer areas.
Oh, yeah, that's
But
right.
then
Dan's done those.
I speeded it up like 3 times the amount.
That's
So it
perfect.
looks really weird and zoomy and whatnot.
And people are like, how come my character isn't going that fast? And then number 5 is look at me soloing on Epic Elite. And I don't know if you've watched any of these videos. I had a chance to check them out in preparation for this. And it's very funny because when you play Epic Elite, everything pretty much hits you. Unless you have like ridiculous amounts of AC that no one really has.
Yeah.
And so in order to solo things in Epic Elite, you have to make sure that nothing gets close to you to hit you. So you're either jumping around like a crazy fool if you're trying to hit things with melee weapons, or you're playing a caster or ranger who's like frantically trying to stay away from everything as you're guiding everything around, because as soon as it gets close to you, it does 300 damage. So they're pretty hilarious with people posting these like, look at me soloing, and the video is literally like 45 minutes long, and you're like, really? Why are you soloing on Epic? I don't know. Okay, that's cool. You can do that. There's something for everybody. You guys do that? You solo on Epic Elite?
I've never done that. I've tried it a couple times and failed miserably.
I do loop runs on Epic Elite, but I don't film
Video
them.
of a... Oh, good. Sorry about that. It'd be a wonderful video of us failing.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It'd be like, look at me going on Epic Elite. There's the first mob. Oh, I died.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try again. Try again. I'm gonna try to
It'd
sneak
be
through
a
this
very,
time.
very short video. So.
Right. Yeah, Epic Elite solo fail. That'd be the title.
But it wouldn't be 45 minutes. Right?
It's true.
It's true.
Be mercifully short.
Well, it could be 45 minutes. A lot of releasing and going back in.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
There'd be a lot of tavern waiting. Because I'm regenerating my hit points. The number 4 reason is the My Guild is So Funny video. Look at us talking. We're all talking to each other. We're all really funny. Look at all these inside jokes. They're hilarious. that no one else really understands. We're all making fun of this guy because we always make fun of him, and he doesn't talk. And then it's, we post the video because why not? And all the people in the guild can enjoy it.
Oh, we did do one of those back in the day with Umberhawks, except it was this is a video of us waiting for a guy to reconnect, which is something we did pretty much every quest. So all the characters just standing around on, I think, a dock somewhere looking bored while we're waiting for him to reconnect.
Did you have like the Jeopardy music going on the?
We did have some music. Jeopardy. I don't remember what it was. It was Manamana. Manamana.
Good.
That was the music.
Very good. Yes.
And now you're all stuck with that for the rest of the day.
Yes. Number 3, which is one of my favorites, is the check out my extremely weird build post. So it's like you create your own crazy build, and then you try it out somehow, and you post that on YouTube. And there's always, like, I don't know, when I'm playing with my guild, people are posting videos. I don't know, is that something that people do in other guilds? Like, when I'm playing, people from the guild are constantly posting random videos into the guild chat, like just links. So then everyone's like going to the different links and laughing about the different things that are happening. But sometimes these weird builds will pop up, and it'll be like, "This is my zombie monk. Check him out in Von 1, kicking everything's butt." But he's a zombie monk, so he's like a wizard and a monk, and doesn't really make any sense. But he's doing 2,000 damage when he hits the monsters in Von 1, so that's pretty sweet. And then I'm always like, "How do you do that? My fighter doesn't do 2,000 damage when he hits things."
Yep.
But some people have better equipment than me. That's what I chalk it up to. Do you post your builds? Do you do this with your build, Sig?
No, I've never made a video of them. I have bragged about my zombie monk before, though, because he is ridiculously fun. At least at low mid levels, it's a fun character. And yeah, I'm always like, I wish my fighter did this much damage. And had a fortification and was immune to all this stuff. God, this character is great.
Yeah, the zombie the zombie animation is priceless.
Yeah, especially when you tumble and you got the fly.
Oh, he doesn't tumble. He does cartwheels.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. Oh, and the other thing I used to like to do, I did once, at least on Lamania, I made a zombie fighter that used greatswords, because when you're a zombie and you're fighting with a greatsword, the animation looks like you're holding it in one hand. So, just for that.
Nice. Yeah, the zombies are pretty cool. If only they didn't have this huge penalty to their attack speed.
Yeah,
that's the problem. I have like a guy that I tried to make into a vampire monk, but the problem with vampire is it takes 400% damage from light, which I didn't realize there was so much light damage in the game until I started playing him in vampire form, and then all of a sudden he would die instantly all the time.
Yeah, but you get divine punishment on you. It's like panic button. Oh god.
I think searing light in an elite quest will do like 600 damage. You're like, whoa, I can't survive that. But it looks like they're changing that in the new enhancements. Some of the new enhancements they're given
a way to resist it now.
Yeah, a little bit. So that maybe it'll make the vampire monk a little bit more viable. But when I would switch into zombie form, like the attack speed reduces the quality of my DDO life so much that I just can't. Even if it did a lot of damage, it just feels so slow. I just can't. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And the Wraith form is so much cooler because you like the trail with the eyes and everything, and you're floating the whole time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Wraith is a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Wraith form just looks so cool that it's just gotta use Wraith form all the time, even if it's not that great. Anyway, so there's the check out my weird build, and then number 2 is the hey, here's my exploit. Check it out. Here, everybody, do this exploit. You can trade. Now you can trade shards. Here's how you do it. Or now you can do this. Here's how you beat this boss, but and they can't even hurt you. And then as you read down the comments, then you can see the comments of like, oh, a Turbine just banned me. That's not cool.
That's not fair.
Right.
Whatever happened to freedom of speech?
Yeah, I was just trying to show you what to fix. Come on.
Not fix.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, I don't know. Do you guys have any guildmates who've been banned for exploiting?
No.
I accidentally got banned once, but it wasn't because I did anything. It was the me ban thing. But my guild loves it because, when everybody got banned through that automated script that went crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I'm such a straight arrow, and I'm always harping on my guild guys. Don't do this, because I do have some guys in my guild that like to, cut some corners. But I'm the one who got banned, not them.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So what happens when you introduce...
I haven't been banned from a game since my college years, so I'm on the straight and narrow path.
That's good.
What did you do
Ever
in
since
college?
I've been married. Well, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
Were there videos?
We'll address that during cocktail hour.
Hey, I'm already.
That's a
I'm already
cocktail
in.
hour. I'm saving
Cocktail
that.
hour. All right. So then, the last reason is to complain about how awful the new enhancement system is going to be for your build. How it's going to break everything that you've done, and that now you're not going to play anymore, and this is the death knell for Turbine, and they're going downhill. I don't know, I've been in this game since it started, and there's been probably 4 or 5 different events where everyone is like spouting the end of Turbine, and everyone's going to be done. You're going to change 2-weapon fighting. Everyone's going to quit. Forget it. We're all gone. And I feel like the same thing is happening now with this new enhancement. Some of the people in my guild are just going ape wrong. I don't know. They're having some conniption fits over this enhancement thing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I see a lot of those ones. Oh, my guild's pretty happy about it. Although they've also been in the game forever, so they're just kind of like, we'll deal with it, whatever.
Yeah. They're just grumpy, Give them some glass of warm milk and a hug. There you go.
Well, when you've spent the last 6 months designing a build that exploits the current game system, and then they change it, which they're going to, you're gonna, I don't know. I feel like you should be prepared for that event, not get mad. You know that your monk archer is going to get nerfed. That's just what's going to happen. You know it. But everyone seems to be caught unawares.
Yeah, and it's always the opposite for me. I'm always like, ooh, I get to change my character. Neat. And I don't have to make a new one. That's awesome.
Right.
I get to do
I feel the
different
same
stuff
way.
now.
I have a couple guys on the shelf that I'm looking at enhancements, and I'm like, oh, these guys are actually going to be playable now.
Yep. Yeah, they totally come back. Although my Hagglebar's still going to suck, but,
He can still buy and sell things like nobody else.
That's true.
Which is his purpose. And that's the end.
Yay! Thank you very much for coming on to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the bee's knees, Rebus. The bee's knees.
You gotta think of a different saying. Something to shake a stick at.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one, too.
All right, so let's shake a stick at DDO Gamer for a little bit, and why don't you tell us what you've been doing on your site?
A condensed version tonight, I think. Got 3 new writers this week that debuted for the first time. So I think we're up to 12 people who have signed on that have indicated they want to write articles. And I think 8 or 9 of them actually have so far, including, like I say, 3 brand new ones. So welcome to Zenobius and One Half Elf and Music with Marie. And they've added some interest to the site. I was focused mainly on the new enhancement system until character copy brought me to a screeching halt. So I had a bunch of talking to do about that, but I think we're kind of running low on time.
Okay.
So do we want to do a new enhancement special next week?
Yeah, we could do that.
Sure.
It's still a developing thing, but I thought it was pretty cool what you did. You took your characters and you compared to them what they were like with the old enhancements versus what they were like after you respec them with the new ones. And I thought that was a neat approach to examining the system. So
I rebuilt them with the same goals as they originally had to see if I could still get there. And the fact was that okay, the highlights. The fact was in every case, yes, I was able to still get back to something that was what they were originally designed to do. But I can tell you that overall, we're going to be doing a lot more buttoning. Okay, buttoneering is becoming more important. That's the direction apparently Turbin wants us. Oh, I'm sorry, I was taken to task for saying Turbin. I looked at.
Oh no, you should say turban because it says you're from Colorado.
Well, and I looked it up. I looked it up. Turban is a valid pronunciation. However,
it's totally valid.
Well, but that same dictionary then went on to have a list of words that it rhymes with, right? And there's like 900 of them, and it rhymes with shine and turbine. Okay, so 600 words that rhyme with turbine, and not any that rhyme with turbine. But anyway, I digress. So there's going to be a lot more buttons in our future. So apparently that's a direction we want to move. Hit points are going down a little bit. Spell points are going down a little bit. Spell criticals are going down a little bit, especially. Not going away, just going down a little bit. But overall, most builds are still going to be able to do what they used to do. And really, you're getting your big kick out of Epic Destinies anyway, right? So right. Epic, our enhancements aren't the be-all and end-all. They're not the bee's knees anymore. They're still nice and they're fun, but you're getting your big bang for the buck out of your Epic Destinies anyway. So, I was still able to build a cleric that is like my cleric. I was still able to build a nuker that is like my nuker, a melee that's like my melee. Hopefully, character copy will get fixed, and I will get a chance to do a rogue and a multi-class and see if they come out the same way too.
Cool.
The other thing I did, and I haven't written about this yet, I'm going to, but I did go ahead and do an iconic, one of the level 15 iconic guys.
Oh, yeah, I'm interested about that.
The Blade Forged, I whipped that out this evening just to see, and I was surprised that he did not come out in Faerun. In fact, the way he does, he starts out first level, only Warforged is available for the iconic figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only the Blade Forged is the only one that's available right now. And it's a Warforged that has a special cosmetic kit that looks very Lord of Bladey. It's really kind of badass, And he starts out in that forge, in the Lord of Blades forge, that they found under House Kneath.
Oh, okay.
And instead of being up on an airship talking to some girl and she gives him one level at a time, he's talking to the Lord of Blades.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And the Lord of Blade levels you up 15 times, and gives you an opportunity to do your enhancements and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. And the loot you get isn't, your TR, your 15th level TR has better loot.
Yeah.
Your first life 15th level may not. So it seemed interesting. The biggest downside I saw to it is that I didn't see this, I couldn't tell this from Lamani, I just read it on the forums, that these characters cannot TR. Oh,
okay.
So if that's true, and I saw no proof of that, but if that's true, then that means, I guess Turbin is trying to get away from TR. This is the end game. And trying to get us in, because they were talking also about, we're going to now have Epic Destiny completionist at some time in the near future.
Yeah.
So maybe they're not interested in the heroic levels as much anymore. Hurry up and get us up to 20, 28, 30, and work through the Epic Destinies. I don't know.
Very interesting.
But anyway, and he came out, and when he finally was done, and the Lord of Blades sent him out, he was in House Kneath. He was not in Faerun. So
very interesting.
It was very interesting. I'll be writing about that in DDO Gamer in this upcoming week.
Cool. Well, I'll be checking it out. Fantastic. Let's do a little bit of what you've been doing. Me, played my TR a little bit, vowing again to always have evasion on my TR. We've got about 3 ranks to go, and then back to first level. Yay! I guess. Playing Static Group a little bit, which is a Static Group for TRs, but I'm not playing a TR because mine wasn't ready in time. So I'm playing a Warforged Artificer Rogue, which I made specifically to go along with them because they didn't have a Trapper, and I called him like Trappy McTrapperson of Trapsville, and then my little dog pet is called It's a Trap, and so he says, "It's a trap, pet of Trappy McTrapper, so did Trapville. Anyway, and then I blew up some traps because I didn't have +5 Thieves tools, so that was kind of embarrassing. But I got those for Harmonies. No longer blowing up traps and doing pretty well in that group. How about you, Dawn?
Well, I'm still working on with the TR group on Wednesdays, so that's fun with my barbarian half orc, evasion thing. But we ran House P quests, so that was fun, and got to do top rank. This is the first time I've ever made a barbarian, so I'm topping the ranks in kills, so I'm quite happy with myself. And it's nice to be healed and not heal, or not worried about the heal. But every once in a while, I have to chug some potions and run like a chicken without a head in order to escape damage. Maybe I should make a video of that. Hey, yeah, there you go. But running some raids with the guild, trying to get up my loot gear. I've been trying to transfer characters over, but thanks to Jeff, I now know that they did a character wipe in Lamania, so I'll probably do that tonight. Yay! Other than that, it's mostly been having fun in Portland, Oregon, and watching H.P. Lovecraft horror films.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
Yeah, we had a good weekend. It was fun.
Those are so creepy. I can't handle those, man. I just can't.
What you been up to, Jeff?
Well, working on my TR mainly. So got her up to level. Well, she's banking 19. She hasn't cashed it in yet. She's going to, though. I'm actually going to take level 19, which I almost never do on a TR, because she has 2 levels of rogue, but is a cleric, which means that this will give her her only 9th level spells. So
yeah,
that's what I've been doing this week.
I took 19 for the same reason.
I took level 19 so I could have Barbarian speed boost and wouldn't have to cast Master Weaponsmith or whatever that spell is. Not a very good reason. But the Barbarian speed boost plus wings, awesome. Nobody faster than me. How about you, David? What you been up to?
We got this new thing going with our I'm on a 4th life with this sorcerer tank that I've taken through a couple times. He's been a paladin a couple times, and he's been a sorcerer tank. But this group that we're working through now with the guild is it's a static group, and we're playing it in a very specific way. It's kind of like permadeath, but they don't die permanently for deletion. What we're doing is if anybody in the group dies in the quest, we start over. We start the quest over. Oh. So it's like it's baby permadeath or permadeath light. Yeah. But it forces the group to work together more, and it forces us to really focus and pay attention to what's happening, as opposed to just like everyone's paying attention to something else and doing something else at the same time. We're not really working together. And I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. We're also doing all quests on Elite, so you're forced to do things at a difficult level and forced to work together to make it work. And people definitely still die.
That's a pretty great idea.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, very cool. Excellent. All right, we'll do community news. DDOcast Gen Con event is locked in. I got an email from the Gen Con guys, so we got confirmation. I've got a time, I've got a schedule, I got event ID, all that kind of good stuff, so we're rocking and rolling.
Yay! We're going to Gen Con, everybody!
Yeah. Should be very cool. So the event ID, if you want to jot it down, and we'll put it on the website, of course, and all that sort of thing, is ENT1346414, and the name of the event is DDOcast Live Show. It's Friday, August 16th at 4 p.m. It's at the Embassy Suite in Coronation 1, which sounds like I think it's a hotel right just across the street from the convention center, in one of the little convention rooms they have there. Tickets are $2. They kind of have like a minimum thing that I had to choose, so I chose the minimum thing, which is $2. You can buy tickets when you register for the convention. It should be room for about 50 people. That's what I requested, so should have plenty of room. And the event registration opens on the 19th, so you can't sign up for it yet, but when the 19th comes around, if you're registered for the convention, then you can sign up for the show.
50 people. Are we going to even fill like a tenth of that?
I don't know. Probably. Well, who knows? Let's be optimistic and say a bunch of people will come, but I don't know how many people will be there.
So
Whoever
I have a
comes will have a
question.
good time. However,
So if you didn't buy a ticket, can you just still show up and get in?
well, let's put it this way: we're not going to turn anyone away, right? So, if you want to just be there for whatever reason, even if perhaps you're not going to Gen Con, if you can get to the hotel room, we won't give you a hard time, right? So welcome anybody who wants to come to the event.
I think you can get to the Embassy Suites without going into the convention center at all. So
I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah. So I'm thinking, even if you're not going to Gen Con, if you're in the area and you want to come to our little shindig, you can probably attend it. No guarantees, but I think so. Of course, supporting Gen Con is a good thing. It's a cool convention, and so if you got the cash and you got the time.
Well, you know what? If you just show up with a pair of, like, I don't know, elf ears, fake ones, they'll let you through with anything.
All right, that's part of the convention.
Oh my god, it's a convention.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're pretty tough about the badges. You can't get anywhere without a badge in that place.
Yeah, Gen Con, they make it hard to ghost. That's usually what you call it when you go to a convention without paying. You're ghosting it. But anyway, like I said, if you can make it to Coronation 1 and Embassy Suites, you're all clear, but no guarantee on that. But I do encourage people to, support the convention, all that kind of good stuff. Also, there's going to be an after party, most likely that Friday night. So we're kind of packing all the DDO stuff into one day. And I don't know the details on that. I have to talk to the people who generally organize it and see if they're organizing it this year. If not, I'll try to help out to make sure it happens. So that'll be sometime after a thing. Our event is like just 2 hours, so basically a show length. We'll have a good time. So that's about it. Oh, and let us know if you're coming. It'd be cool to know people who are planning on attending. So
I'm going to try to be there. We'll work hard to be there.
Yeah, if you're there, we'll definitely do a top 10 of some kind. Let's see. Shamgar's Building Blocks. Building Blocks number 30, Stat 6, Wisdom is now available. Pretty good stuff, as always. Shamgar is very detailed in his posts, so check that out. We're actually going to go watch a show that he's helping produce. I think he's a stage manager and set designer and some other things on the show, so we're going to go see that this week. Should be a lot of fun. And get to say hi to him. He's been pretty busy with that. He says after he's done with that, we'll hear some more from him on DDOcast. DDO Chronicles, the first one that is not on my DDO, although there wasn't a whole lot in there. Once again, they featured DDOcast and DDO Gamer. I think that's the third week in a row. So they seem to be running out of fan sites. So if you're running a fan site, do something cool so Jerry can put you on there. As much as we like getting the prep.
Videos, do some fan art, fan fiction.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Definitely you should video 7 times through the tier of Deccan without editing.
Give Deccan
Sounds like a great plan. This is how you find every tier. Like this.
I love that quest.
That quest is so awesome.
I run it so much.
It's
All right. Oh, yeah.
I run it at level 25. It's so good.
if they need, if it's,
I hardly ever
quest,
die.
If it's a quest they need to, if they need to make an epic level that's not a part of a raid or a pack, that one should be epic level.
Oh, epic level Tears of Dracon?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. The respawn room, lots of fun.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. All right. Right.
An epic pit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it could be a pair.
Quests that you don't want to see. Epic. What is that?
Oh,
Tomb of the Tormented.
There's a top 10.
That would be a good top 10. Absolutely. But what do we have at the DDO Chronicle? Not very much. Lustine's character misinterprets class trees in a new piece of fan art.
Which is really quite clever. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Yeah.
It has some Mexi girls in it. And who would win in a fight, Vela or Osirkex? Oh, God.
Osirkex.
Pronounce it.
Osirkex.
Thank you, Jeff. I knew Jeff knows how to pronounce it.
That's the white dragon.
Oh,
yeah. From Prey on the Hunter.
Prey, that's right, yeah.
All right. So, who would win? David.
Oh, Vela, hands down. Although Vela doesn't move, so Asakaris could fly far away and just shoot ice beams at her or something. I don't
A
know.
little kiting. Yeah. Jeff?
Well, Asakaris brings her husband, right? But even the two of them, Epic Vela is epic. She's going to kick their ass.
And?
Because she lives in space. God. A dragon in space kicking your butt? That's pretty epic. That would win.
True.
And I'm going to go with Vela because I could pronounce her name. Yay!
That's a good reason, isn't he?
Yeah, it's my best reason.
Oh, simple pleasures.
Well, but before this whole thing ends, I do have to point out that every male person on this panel has a beard.
Oh, yeah. True.
Oh. What? Okay, so.
Extra manly on
I just thought
DDOcast
that
today.
was an interesting thing to
So
point
next time,
out.
bring your grizzly bears and put them in the background.
Right. Evidently, DDO players, beards. Growing.
Extra manly
Strong.
DDO
Masculine.
players. That's us.
Or maybe just no time to shave.
Oh, there could be that too. Let's see. Well, yeah, actually, I wear a beard. I will admit I wear a beard because I have no chin if I don't. I have just one big neck. And so the beard gives me a nice definition, which I like. That makes me happy.
It's good. That's as good a reason as any right there.
Yeah. I once shaved my beard off, and Anne said, "My God, what did you do with my husband? Bring him back." So it has never come off since. All right, lightning post. I want to say not so much questions this week, but just thanks to some people for sending me fun stuff. So a big thanks to Zeno, who sent me an email alleging that Jeff and I looked like characters from the movie Noobs, which apparently you can watch on Netflix. So he sent this along with pictures of the characters next to pictures of us from the podcast, and I thought that was very amusing. They actually, in the ballpark, I mean, clearly there are some differences, but the facial structures are kind of similar. Jeff plays Armagregon, apparently a Frogger champion, and I'm his manager. So thanks for sending that along.
It is amusing, but not flattering.
No, the characters are pretty ridiculous looking, but I think you're a little ripped there, in that picture. So
Well, all that Frogger,
yeah, keeps you in shape. And then thanks to Scott S., who sent me a very cool visualization showing pretty much all you need to know about augment slots. It's really cool. So it's got different colored circles with the augments of that color and these little charts that show you by level what types of effects you can get, and it's just really, really cool. So cool. He showed it to me, and it's not posted online yet, but as soon as it is, we'll share it with everybody. So you can check it out. It's really neat. It's just one PDF, a one-pager, and it shows everything you could ever need to know about the augment slots. So.
Yeah, at a glance. It's a very cool graphic. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's real neat.
Very clever.
Finally, just a little bit of other gaming news, something I ran across I thought was interesting, which was Wizardry Online launched recently. And if you're a really old school gamer like me, you might remember Wizardry, Ruins of the Mad Overlord, and the many, many, many sequels for the game. But for me, the original Wizardry, Ruins of the Mad Overlord, or whatever it was called, was kind of the classic, one of my favorite early dungeon exploration monster killing games. I played the heck out of that thing. Anyway, there's a free-to-play online Wizardry MMO now, and it kind of has some interesting features. The foremost is that it is a permadeath open PvP game. So it is always permadeath. It is always open PvP. Even your own party members can attack you, apparently. So
It's ganking season for everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
it is
I'll try to think
hardcore.
apart.
Now, if there is kind of I read a little bit further, the death mechanic actually, if you die, you kind of go to this nether realm where you can fight more monsters, and you have to work your way over to these nodes. And when you get to a node, there's a chance to be resurrected, right? And if you fail the chance, then you're dead forever, and that's it. And you can pay in the cash shop to increase your chance of resurrection. So there's a little bit of
That's awesome.
but you can never get 100%, right? So even if you pay money, you might still die anyway. Great way to make
Nice.
people
Wow.
pissed off, but yeah, pretty hardcore.
It's a lot of character building and attachment to characters in that game.
Yeah, and the character building's pretty complicated. You don't make a lot of initial choices, but you can take your character through a bunch of different class levels to get powers from other classes and mix them in, and so there's all kinds of stuff you can do. But at any moment, you might just vanish.
So when you kill another player, do you like get their loot and everything? Like,
I'm not sure. I didn't see about that part. I apparently, part of the balance is, of course, if they kill you, they might get hurt, and then they might get killed by somebody else. So, there are dangers to going around just trying to kill people. But I'm not sure what the rewards are for it. But I don't know. Seemed kind of interesting, and it does have a sort of complicated combat system. But I am told, at least from the reviews, that the graphics are pretty bad. They're sort of like 1990s called and wants their graphics back. And they have a very anime look to them. So, they're kind of those weird, kind of squirrely elves with pointy ears and really skinny arms and stuff. And they have a little weird munchkin race that's very anime looking. So, which is very different from the original Wizardry, which, definitely styled itself after kind of classic Western fantasy looking art. So, kind of maybe a little strange if you're looking for the Wizard intellectual property, but it was kind of a hardcore game in its day, and it seems like a hardcore MMO. So I thought it was neat and worth mentioning. And it's free. Also, I guess they have a mechanic where you have a kind of a soul that if you do have characters die, you still sort of get something for them. Essentially, you can level all the experience you get with your character goes into some overall pool of experience, which allows you to start with higher level characters or something like that. So there's still kind of a way that you're building up, even though you're dying off. Anyway. Give it a look if you're so inclined. Anybody got any last-minute things before we sign off? David?
No. I was just trying to look up that Wizardry thing, and it looks interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of curious. I haven't tried it out yet, but I definitely am going to give it a shot. I have kind of a soft spot for old-school RPGs, even though I play them and I'm like, wow, this is so hard and kind of annoying, but I'm still always drawn back to trying them anyway.
Yeah, I have Final Fantasy 5 or something on my phone right now.
Yeah, I've got
Good
Bard's
stuff.
Tale, the original one of those for my iPad that I play sometimes.
Yeah, that's all.
Cool. Any final thoughts there, Jeff?
I may be aging myself, but my first exposure to Wizardry, it was just one step above a text graphic, and it had, this is going way back. It was on the Mac. It had, vector.
Just some lines.
It was just lines, and, rooms, and it was one step above a text adventure. So that's how, that game's been around forever. Also, if anybody needs to know any of 900 words that rhyme with turbine, I'm good. Jawline, snowline, moonshine, neckline, roofline, sabine, tarine, tramline. Stop me.
You hear that, Skaggy? If you're out there. Turbine poetry inspiration.
so I have a question. When did Wizardry first come out? What year?
80s.
If I was playing it on the Mac, it had to be 84, 85, 86.
Yeah, it was early 80s.
Can I tell you how old I was? No, I won't.
It might even been 81 for the first version of it or something, which I think was like an Apple II game. I'm not sure, though. But it's an old one. And a challenge. It was fun. I played it all the time. Tilt-A-Wait was like the ultimate spell.
Tilt-A-Wait, yes.
Yeah, it's called Tilt-A-Wait. It was basically a nuclear bomb that you set off on the enemy monsters. It was
Nice.
awesome.
I'm looking at a screenshot from this Wizardry Online thing, and it appears like you can be a child with a knife. Like an actual, 3-year-old child is what it looks like on the picture.
Hardcore. Yeah, to me, the graphics totally didn't fit my, mental image of what Wizardry is like. Also, the reviewer said there's about 70 shades of brown and about 50 shades of gray used in the color palette in the game.
Yep, that's coming out in the screenshot. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, it does not seem that impressive, but oh well. It's free! Okay, well, I think that'll be it for today's show. Big thanks to Anne and Jeff and David for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you for having me. Good times.
And thanks to all the other DDOcast contributors, Shamgar and everybody else, Beethoven, who sends us stuff. We very much appreciate that. And our many fine listeners in the chat room and just folks that listen to the show. Turbine Wizards of the Coast for making a great game that we'd like to play. If you want to be a part of the show or just say hi, you can call us at 707-DDOcast or email us at DDOcast@gmail.com. And yes, we will promote your stuff if you're doing something gamery related. We're happy to do that. Until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits, all your chests level appropriate. Have fun, and don't forget to create a segment for DDOcast. Yay!